I never imagined I'd become the kind of man who sits alone in his car at 3 a.m., engine off, headlights dimmed, staring blankly at the dashboard while the weight of 5 years presses down like a silent avalanche. But there I was. Not because my wife cheated in the usual predictable way, but because she made a choice. A deliberate, intimate, soul-splintering choice. One she never thought I'd uncover. Her name is Molina. We met at a photography exhibit in Chicago. She wore a white trench coat, a vintage camera slung over her shoulder. Not for show, not for social media aesthetics, but with the quiet confidence of someone who actually understood light, framing, and story. She spoke with passion, not polish. There was something raw in her honesty that caught me off guard, and I fell. Quickly. Willingly. The early years of our marriage were the kind people dream about. Filled with passport stamps, shared playlists, spontaneous kisses in airport terminals. We weren't flashy, but we were us. Solid. We built a small condo full of warmth, tiny routines, inside jokes only we understood, Saturday pancakes in worn-out pajamas. For a while, it felt like forever. But forever started to fade around year 3. Not in fireworks or shouting matches, but in subtler ways. A tone in her voice. A delayed reply. The way her laughter softened into polite chuckles. Like something was missing, but she wouldn't say what. She started going out more. Just the girls, she said. Always just the girls. I didn't question her. I didn't want to be that husband. The paranoid one. The suspicious one. I trusted her. That was my first mistake. It was a quiet Thursday evening. She was in the shower. Her phone buzzed once, then again. I glanced over. Not to snoop, just out of instinct. The screen lit up with a message preview from a group chat. Asterisk, so excited for Saturday. First times are always the wildest. Asterisk. My pulse kicked. I unlocked the phone, not in anger, but in a slow, creeping dread. I scrolled just far enough to understand the context. Asterisk, playroom rules. No judgment. Bring your own mask. Asterisk. My heart didn't race, it sank. Because deep down, something inside me had already known. She told me she had a spa night planned that weekend. I kissed her goodbye. Even made her herbal tea like I always did when she wanted to unwind. But what she didn't know, what she could never have guessed, was that I had already copied the address from the chat history. I drove there that night, parked 2 blocks away and waited. The house was a quiet, imposing brick structure with soft red lighting spilling through the curtains. Couples arrived, some in masks, some draped in nothing but confidence. Then she appeared. Molina. A long coat fluttering around her. Heels clicking confidently on the pavement. Beneath the coat, a flash of red lace I hadn't seen in years. Not for me anyway. Her eyes were bright, her posture alive. She looked thrilled, like someone stepping into the life she truly wanted. That moment hurt more than anything else. Not just the betrayal, but seeing her happy in a world that didn't include me. I didn't confront her that night. I waited. She came home at 3:17 a.m., careful to step over the creaky floorboard near our bedroom, just like she did in college. I pretended to sleep. The next morning, it was coffee and toast, small talk and gentle kisses. As if she hadn't just destroyed the foundation we built. But I had already made my decision. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. I got smart. Over the next 2 weeks, I collected everything. Screenshots. Timestamps. Photos. With the help of Josh, a friend and private investigator, I traced every lie to its origin. He even got into the private club where these parties took place. A whole subculture that prides itself on respect and secrecy. The irony was unbearable. How little respect they actually had behind their masks. Once I had everything, I still said nothing. I waited. Our anniversary arrived. I booked a reservation at the same candlelit restaurant we visited the night of our wedding. A violinist played in the background. She looked radiant. Hairpin just the way I liked it, red lipstick, eyes full of nostalgia. She told me I looked handsome. She kissed my cheek. And I smiled. Halfway through dessert, I slid an envelope across the table. She grinned, thinking it was a gift. Maybe a love letter. Maybe a surprise trip. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside, printed screenshots, photographs, message logs. Evidence cold and clear. She went pale. For a long moment she said nothing. Just stared. Then in a broken whisper. How long have you known? I looked her dead in the eye. Long enough to realize you're not the woman I married. Tears welled. She reached across the table for my hand. I pulled away. I've already spoken to a lawyer, I told her, my voice steady. Not for a messy divorce. Just a clean mutual separation. No kids. No custody battles. Just a quiet end. But then, I added the part she never saw coming. I RSVP to the next party, I said, leaning in slightly. Used your name to get in. Don't worry, I won't participate. Her mouth parted, confused. Why? Because I'm showing them, I said softly. Every message. Every photo. Every couple. Every host. I've already sent them copies. Let's see how they feel about a woman who betrays not just her vows, but their little code of honor. She gasped, hands trembling. You wouldn't. I leaned back. Calm. Detached. I already did. Then I stood, dropped a few bills on the table and walked out. I didn't look back. Not even when I heard the first sob burst from her chest like a dam breaking. That was the last time I ever saw her in person. I moved out 2 days later. She tried to reach out, calls, texts, even showed up crying on my brother's porch. But I never replied. Not once. My revenge wasn't screaming. It wasn't violence or bitterness. It was silence. It was removing myself from her world completely. Without drama. Without explanation. Without closure. Because some betrayals are so complete, so intimate in their cruelty, they don't deserve a second chapter. They deserve a final, quiet ending. And a man who no longer waits at 3 a.m. in the dark,